Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Kerbal Space Program. I think we can objectively say at this point, we have all the science. Over 6,000. I mean, that is pretty much all the science there is to be had. I've been doing a lot of fast forwarding off camera with the Minmus lab, and just the amount of science is amazing. I've also been doing missions like science data from the surface of Eve or Duna or the orbit of the moon, Minmus, that sort of thing, you know. So we have about 3.3 million. I've upgraded the VAB to max, I've upgraded the spaceplane hangar to max. There isn't a whole lot left to upgrade at this point. So excuse me if I'm gonna go into the VAB and I'm gonna have some rocket fun. You know, we're gonna make something crazy. This episode, we're gonna do crazy stuff. I'll be right back. Oh, and just in case you're curious about all the science, I think we're gonna invest it in aerospace tech and then get ourselves a load of that, and we might want that. I'll be honest, one thing that I do definitely want is this tree. To get ourselves the inflatable heat shield. That's gonna be good. Up next, well, the rechargeable battery bank is nice. We're gonna be using that in a lot of stuff. I can tell you that right away. 3,000 science left. We can go for... Well, we have all of this stuff. I would like the surface scanner just for surface scanning things. Still have 3k left. We can get the RTG. That's actually not a bad idea. Kind of want that. We'll purchase this one. You want very heavy rocketry? We might want to get that. Anything in here that tickles our fancy? Well, I like this docking port because it's shielded and it looks good. Stack separator, quad coupler might be useful. I want the senior docking port. That will make life a lot easier on bigger ships, such as the crazy stuff we're trying to build here. Do you want this? I mean, sure, why not? We have 1,000 science left, we can spend that on... Sure, we'll go for rover wheels. I want to purchase that one. We'll probably leave that one for a bit. I want to purchase the heat shield as well. We have 480 science left. God, it goes so quickly. Do you want to spend that on any of that? I mean, separators aren't bad. I'm gonna get this monopropellant tank. Verna engine might not be a bad idea either. SAS, definitely. Yeah. Back to crazy rocket science! Okay, here we are with the first product of our new scientific endeavors. We have a new shuttle over here. I saw the design somewhere online and I basically replicated it, and I'm gonna try and make some adjustments to it, but I did a test flight. We managed to dock at 100 by 100 orbit, which is good. That's sort of what I was hoping for. We've got Lelin Kerman in the pilot seat. We're picking up the scientist Erdine, and we're gonna go to the Minmus lab, which should be somewhere. There it is. 2.4 kilometers away. We're going to be picking up some crew for some major missions. Here we go. Target speed is 1.4 meters per second. You can see that this is a very agile little craft. It's beautiful in its design. I really like it. It's got some tiny liquid fuel engines. It's pretty fun. It's very light. It reacts very nicely, so you don't have to use like RCS or anything like that. It can use its booster tank to basically get up in a 100 by 100k orbit, which is all that we're going to be using it for. Shuttling over to the space station and things like that. We'll be rendezvousing with our Minmus lab over there, and then we're going to be, well, basically just recovering them and making sure that we have some good crew on our next flight, which may or may not be a gigantic undertaking. No spoilers. You'll have to wait a bit further into the video, or you could just skip ahead, I suppose. What's the fun in that? You want to see this? You want to see this nice shuttle try and dock? Yeah, we're basically just slowing our speed down, trying to keep our vector on target. By doing that, we're doing that by slowing down below the vector so that it goes upwards. We're basically killing our velocity down while we're keeping our velocity towards the target itself. And so, by doing that long enough, we should be able to get a nice rendezvous with our lab over there. Now we're not going to be able to dock to it because it doesn't have a docking port, which it happens. Not the best case scenario, but it doesn't really matter that much. And there we go, that should be enough to get us docked, or at least in a close enough proximity that we can start flying people over. You know, we're below 500 meters now, below 400. And there we go, below 100 meters now. We're going to be facing ourselves retrograde, just to be able to slow us down with the liquid fuel engines. Excellent. Killer speed, which is remarkably easy in this lightweight craft. And we're going to be pointing directly at our target. We're going to be using RCS for the final length of the way here. There we go, we're going at 1 meters per second, so we're going to speed up time just a little bit, and there it is. Then we're going to slow ourselves down, we're going to switch over, and we're going to hop everyone in. I'll be right back when we are ready to depart. Alright, all that's left to do is take back Leve Kerben, who is, well, could not be coming on the next mission. Depends on if we have a better scientist, but come on. I want to show this at least once. Just look at it, it's beautiful. I'm very happy with this design. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks high-tech as well. That's the best part. You could build an oversized SSTO, which is probably what I'm going to do at some point, but this is just absolute beauty. Speaking of oversized stuff, we're going to be working on something beautiful. Now, let's try and find the KSC. That's right over there. Good. In that case, I'd like to add a maneuver over here. We're basically going to be lowering our periapsis into the atmosphere, I think. Somewhere over there will do. I'm not entirely sure, as we the planet's going to be rotating, etc. So what I'm probably going to have to do is increase the speed a bit more from that burn. We have Jebediah in the cockpit now, so we have access to all the lovely stuff. I think that should be a good re-entry for this thing. I'm not entirely sure. This is the first time I'm actually testing it in re-entry. But given that it is a space plane, I think we should be fine. We'll use RCS as well. We don't need a lot of monopropellant, and I have included a 2 tanks of monopropellant on the quote-unquote improved version that I made, where I just chucked some RCS tanks on the back. I'm gonna speed a little bit more. I think I'm gonna overshoot it a bit more because we have a plane. We can always, well, we can first of all always slow ourselves further down if we need to. We have plenty of fuel left. That's the advantage of having these small and efficient engines. Let's look at that. It looks absolutely beautiful. Oh crap, we just overshot, didn't we? Well, we'll find out the hard way if this accidentally dooms us or not. I mean, what's the worst that can possibly happen, right? We do have our landing gear on the bottom here, excellent. We're giving the crew a good view of, well, Jebediah can't really see anything. But Erdine should... That's EVA. Erdine might be able to see something. Yeah, that's a planet. Look, it's a bit cramped in here, sure, but this isn't made for luxury. This is made for transportation and efficiency. And I dare say it's working quite well. Well, we're going to be entering the orbit relatively soon. Thankfully, we'll be landing in daylight. Otherwise, I would just wait in orbit, obviously. Well, here we go. Time to see how she does. Hopefully, the glide pattern, etc. will be perfect. We don't have a lot of fuel to muck about in orbit or anything. Or in the atmosphere, I mean. So this will be interesting. And a good comparison for me to see how well it does. If it doesn't do well... Oh, dear. Let's slow down first of all. Angle ourselves up a little bit. I'm not sure what we lost. But we definitely need to go in a bit shallower next time. Oh yeah, we lost some solar panels, that explains it. It's going to be the RCS thrusters overheating. Exploding. Oh dear. Yeah, we really need some radiators on here. Or just fly better. All we've lost so far though is RCS, which is not the worst that can happen. Okay, so we are slowly slowing down, which is good. Dear Lord. I should have done a test before sending 4 people possibly to their deaths. But we're doing fine. Nobody died yet. Somehow. And we are flaring quite nicely. Oh, I forgot the bloody air brakes. You know, that's gonna help. Probably could have used those earlier. Oh my god. Well, it's nice to know that the air brakes work at least. I'm fired, aren't I? Well, that's the plus side of being a CEO of your own space program. They don't get to fire you for mistakes like that. We nearly burnt our prototype to death, and our ace crewmen and women. Although I don't think Erdine is an ace crew member just yet. I mean, we have Lebe here as well, who survived the trip. But yeah. Use those air brakes, people. It's pretty good. Now we have bled off a lot of our speed, which means we're not going to be overshooting the runway at least, which, you know, gotta take the good with the bad. And that was pretty good. As in, we can slow ourselves down. Probably gonna go for a bit shallower of an entry next time. Together with, well, probably more air brakes if I'm gonna be honest. Because if I don't forget to use them, they will help out a lot. Just look at that. Our speed is bleeding off like madness over here. Now the fun thing is, these are, I think their design is inspired by one of the MiGs, I think the MiG-29. It had like one of these air brakes on its back in the middle, on the fuselage. There we go, I know words. I actually bled off a bit too much of our speed, would you look at that. We're gonna have to activate the engines to make it to the landing pad now. I have upgraded the runway to level 3, by the way. I've upgraded nearly everything by now. So that's nice. And people didn't die, which is good. Look at Bill, Bob, Jebby. Things are gonna be wonderful. And then next up may or may not be a montage of me launching ridiculous plane parts to make an awesome spacecraft. But first, let's get to the runway and safely land the crew that is needed to man such a mission, such an endeavor. It's gonna be absolute madness indeed. Yeah, note to self, don't don't bleed off as much speed. And don't forget to use those air brakes, dummy. I actually think that 2 might be enough. Oh well. The things you learn in a test, in a live test, that you don't really expect, I think it's pretty good. We're going to be taking the prototype out as well for some more tourism missions. We're going to be taking some people in a simple orbit around Kerbin for some money. We'll be deploying the landing gear now. It's a bit rear facing, but most of the mass is in the back, etc., so it should be fine. Should really leave those lights disabled on default. Good well. Oh well. Coming in hard. We are burning all of our engine power now, and because we don't have any solar panels anymore, we are losing electric charge at quite a rapid pace. We might have to include a battery somewhere. Okay, that worked somehow. Again, bleeding off too much speed. I mean, they're alive. It could have been worse. Could have been worse. Anyway, I'll be right back with a lovely speed compilation, folks. So, welcome to the vehicle assembly building. This is the Voyager core module. We're going to be sending up this behemoth. Once we get into space, we will detach this lower stage with the engine and just let it drift because we won't need it. We're going to be detaching these. They're basically giant drop tanks. And yeah, there's a lot of fuel in here. I've specifically built them to have like Mark 3 to 3.75 meter adapters, Mark 3 to 2.5 meter adapters. Got some mainsails on there, the Mammoth on there as well. We've gone all out for this. So, what we have here is a cargo bay. Pretty simple, really. This is where we will be storing a craft that can both land on planets, drill asteroids, all that sort of jazz. Should add a docking port in there, though. That would definitely be beneficial. There we go. And in special action mode, action groups, over here, if we press 1, we will open or close these doors. And on button 0, we have detaching of these to make staging a lot easier. So then let's click these manually in flight to be like, hey, I want to get rid of these tanks now, and we'll detach one before the other, which will definitely throw us off aerodynamically and probably kill us. Let me get some lights on here to look back. But yeah, I don't think I'll have the time, unfortunately, for all the modules today. What's the letter doing over there? So you're going to be getting a bit of a more extended look at this one. And then I really have to run off, render this video, and start my stream. Unfortunately, but we do have a passenger capacity of like 16 in here. And we've got like 4 people in here. We can give people some beer. I'm actually thinking about adding a ILC 18K container on here somewhere. But no, we'll probably go for the 6K and just bring some beer, etc. and EVA canisters. You guys are not... you're not even. Bloody lights. Fine, we'll do it like that. Anyway, let's get to launching this beauty. When I say beauty, I mean... oh my god. I have no idea how the end result is gonna look. If I have any say in the matter, it's gonna be beautiful.
Part of this video. There we go, that should be better. I have no clue until I'm actually looking in post. Which I won't be until this is all done and over with, so I have no idea. Literally no idea. Oh, here we go. Things are going okay. Speed isn't bad, engine isn't wobbling like it used to in a test run. What are we doing fuel-wise? All that is draining remarkably quickly. As expected, to be honest. It's always the adapters, etc. that drain before the main tanks. At least partially with. We're also feeding into the main stack from these side things, so That is definitely helping things slowly but surely. We've passed the 10-kilometer mark, so we can start adding more speed, which is always nice. Take a look at the bottom left. We can see that our drop pods, basically, are at nearly a third of their fuel. Let's try and keep it at 90 degrees so that we don't have a high elliptical orbit or anything like that. Have it as equatorial as we can, so as to make further docking a lot easier. I don't want to aim too high either. I want to preserve fuel. And we will be sending up a refueling module with like 2 converters. We're going to go with 2 because, well, we might as well. This is a bloody big spacecraft to fill. If we do this on a single, like, thing, it's going to take forever. What I'm actually going to do is design the ore module after we've attached the engine nacelles to make it a lot easier for me. Oh dear. We have quite overshot, unfortunately. I mean, I always knew this was going to go far, but bloody hell. Also, I think we brought a bit too much of a crew here. I'm not gonna lie. There's more on this flight than I would have hoped. But anyway, 130k. We're gonna have to drop this down quite a bit. Well, there we go. Side tanks are out, so... Oh crap. Decouple. Decouple. So that didn't work as planned, unfortunately. We're out! Peace! Suckers! Bye-bye! Oh dear, it is wobbling quite a bit. So we're not going to be able to go full throttle, unfortunately. We're going to have to balance for this because our apoapsis is dropping quite a bit now. Which is not helping. The struts aren't helping as much as I'd like. The wobbling is still happening, unfortunately. There we go, we should at least be able to get into orbit easily enough. We still have a ton of fuel left, which does help. We'll be lowering our orbit a bit. Because, well, we don't need to be up this high. There we go. We have made it into orbit, people. Congratulations. That wasn't the hard part. The hard part is actually docking with it and rendezvousing, which is exactly why we're going to stick to an 80-kilometer orbit over here. It's kind of dark now, which is unfortunate. Yeah, we're going to try and get it as rounded as we can, which isn't all that hard, actually.
We'll leave it there. Right, so now we have Voyager core module in orbit. Hooray! We can open the base and be like, ooh, ah, things. You know, I actually think we have time for another one, so let's quickly do another one, shall we? Oh god, it's finally recording again. So I'm having recording issues while having time issues while getting ready to do a stream and still having to render this video. Anyway, this is the engine module. There's going to be 2 of these, 1 on each side. There is 7 atomic rocket motors on there. They all only use liquid fuel, which is good for us. We'll just top it off because why not? We can use that to rendezvous, etc. All we need is to get into orbit. So, in order to do that, we're gonna get these tanks on the side, and then we'll hopefully use the rest of them. Or we might have to rely on these 7 atomic engines to get us to orbit, I don't know. We have a remote guidance unit over here, so we should be okay. Just another save, just for caution's sake. Oh god, please go okay. Please just work. Now we need to find Voyager core module, set as target. We're going to be waiting for a decent position. Now we're going to be going into the dark side of the planet, unfortunately. I think that's about it. Don't need RCS, we need that. There we go. You couldn't even get me off the ground. The atomic engines do not help. Well, this is good to know. I guess we'll just have to throw more boosters at it.
Yes. 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 Excellent. We're finally getting somewhere. It's going to take a lot of energy though, but yes. Yes. Unlimited power. Crap, we didn't wait for it. Oh, intercept. We didn't wait for the intercept. I'm a dummy. Oh well, screw it. I don't have the time right now. We'll compensate in flight. the main stage pumping into the sides, but that would A, deplete rather quickly, and B, be rather pointless, as this is going to be for the spacecraft in space, not the one not getting to space. I'm not making much sense today, am I? Yeah, that's going to happen. Oh well, this is sped up anyway, so you can't hear most of it. Only if you really, really get close and listen to me talk. Which is an honor, but it's also a little bit creepy. Please don't press the wrong button. I nearly killed us all there, despite nobody being on board. Yeah, I keep pressing the wrong button, overcompensating occasionally, which isn't helpful. Not gonna lie, that is not helpful at all. We should be able to get into an orbit via this, thankfully. Tempting. I'm probably gonna do that, actually, once we get into orbit. Just throw out these tanks, and just... actually... that! There we go. That's helping, actually. We can just divert all of this again, and it should be all equal. Oh crap, overshot. Might be for the best. I guess this is going to be one hell of a docking. Actually, I'm just going to get into orbit and I'm going to have to end the episode here. Which is very unfortunate because, well, I'd love to do more, but I can't. Actually, I just noticed a huge design flaw in this. I'll have to fix that off camera, so this launch is going to be invalidated pretty much. Which is unfortunate, but you know what? Oh well. We're going to quickly get ourselves into orbit and then we'll just end the episode because we've been going on for way too long here and I don't have the time anymore. Unfortunate and all that. I don't think you can see the clear gimbling here though. They are pretty good engines, I'm not gonna lie. Because for fuel splitting we have enough to get to orbit. With those side pods probably. There we go, just get us into a stable orbit and then we can end the episode with a proper end salute. Wow, we're actually,
Wow, we ran out of, like, fuel in these side tanks at the exact point when we technically got into orbit. That is amazing, but I did notice something on here. I wanted to include some SAS, and we have none, so I'm gonna unfortunately have to scrap this, as well as, you know, that could have caused significant damage. Anyway, we'll be back next episode when we'll be docking 2 of these modules and then a ore module onto the Voyager. And then we will have a giant spaceship ready to explore all of space. Let's quickly see how much thrust this can give. It's got 5,000 liquid fuel purely dedicated to those engines. It's got more because there's still fuel in the connector, but just look at that. That's going to be amazing once we get into deep space. That lack of fuel drain compared to the amount of thrust we're getting. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video then please do leave a like down below. It really does help the channel grow. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to say. And you want to see more, because this is going to be an awesome craft, and why not subscribe? Anyway, until next time, have a good one folks.